Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about something more personal, something that's really close to my heart. And I've been really going back and forth if I should really do a video about this or not, if it's something that you guys would be interested in or not. But then I thought to myself, just do it. So many other people are going through it. So many mums go through this, and I think it's I think it's just best that if I did do it and tell you more about myself and a bit more about my life than you already see, because my life is just not what you see in videos. Like, I've got my serious side as well. I've got my fun side and I've got my serious side. So what I'm going to be talking about is my son. Um, if you haven't watched my first video, my son, I say what is up with my son. My son is 9 years old. He's going on to be 10 in December, and he's my first. And he was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2.5, going on 3. Um, Before I start, I'm not a professional in any way. I'm not going to say I'm a pro at autism and that I know everything, because I don't. I'm learning each day as I go and trying to make life easier for him in any way possible with all the strength I have. And I think it's really good to make a video like this because, one, I needed help about stuff about autism. Lots of parents who posted videos about it did help. It really, really did, because I had no clue what it is. There's so much a professional can tell you. There's so many leaflets they can give you. There's so much information you can. It's just so overwhelming. So I just wanted to make a simple video of what it's like to be a mother with a child with autism. And yeah, just gonna tell you my story. I'm not gonna baffle on and bore you with all the details. I'm just gonna make it as basic as possible. Um, so from my pregnancy, everything was normal. Everything was normal. He was overdue. 2 weeks, was born at 42 weeks, and I don't remember how many days. I'm so bad. I think it was 42 weeks and 3 days. So he was very overdue, and the birth was complicated because he was in distress in the end because the labor was so prolonged, and because he was so distressed, they were suggesting cesarean, but I had had an epidural because I had been in labor for like 2 days now, and I just couldn't. I didn't have no more strength in my body to do anything because I was in so much pain. Um, so yeah, as soon as they checked me for the final time, they saw that I was dilating, and so they left it and I had a normal birth. But I bled a lot. I was cut. I was torn. I know this is too much information, but anything helps. Um, I lost a lot of blood. I had to take 2 bags of blood, and I became anemic. I had to take painkillers for my stitches and my pain down below. And it was just really, like, some people be put off. I didn't get put off. This is normal. This happens. It can happen to anyone. Could have gone a lot worse, but it didn't. Um, he was normal. He was healthy. Like, the term normal, what I mean by a typical newborn. I don't like the term normal because no one is normal. Even people who are considered normal are not normal. He would just was like a typical newborn baby, was healthy, no complications, his hearing test was fine, everything was normal. So going up to his toddler years, he wasn't talking. He started walking when he was about a year and a half. His teeth came out pretty fine. Um, And we were due his 2 year health, is it 1 year or 2 year health check? I don't remember, because it's such a long time ago. But because we had been moving around, we didn't get to do that. But when we settled in a place, she came out to visit us, and I remember her coming in. She's very friendly. She sat down with us, and she brought out her little toys to play with him. She brought out a doll, a cup, a plate, a fork and a knife, and a spoon, just like basic toys. And she sat it down on the table and observed him what he would do. And he threw the doll, and he was literally just throwing everything around, wasn't doing what the textbook told you to do, like he should be doing. And, she's like, does he always do that? Does he always put objects in his mouth? Because for a 2-year-old, he shouldn't be doing that. And I said, yeah, does he usually call, like when you call his name, does he usually answer? I said, no, he doesn't really answer. She was asking me questions after questions after questions. And when the professional starts asking you too many questions, you start to worry. Even as a parent, you worry. When they ask you so many questions, you think, oh, is there something wrong? And she said she was going to refer me to the pediatrician because she was concerned that he wasn't doing things he shouldn't be, like he should be doing at his age. And that started to really worry me. Is there something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Like, he's probably going to be okay. Like, you start to put it at the back of your head, start to think positive. Everything's going to be okay. Like, all children are different. And he will do things when he's ready to do it. And I started to notice that kids his age were doing a lot more than he was. I was like, why is my son not doing that? Why is he not talking? Why is he just babbling? Why is he not riding a scooter? Why is he not, you start to question yourself, like start questioning why he's not doing stuff. But then I said to myself, just wait and see. Go and see a professional and see what he says. Move on to the professional, to the pediatrician. We waited 3 months to be seen, and we went in. Super professional guy. He sat down with us, put all the toys out for Lucas. My son's name's Lucas. And observed him. And he was talking and asking questions. Like, we were in there for like 45 minutes. He was just asking me questions like, oh, does he tend to put things in his mouth? Answer was yes. Does he, when he eats, does he turn his spoon around? Like, instead of eating like this, he would literally do this and turn the spoon. Every time he ate, it took me forever to teach him how to eat properly. Like, he would flap his hands, he would turn the car over and play with the wheels. He would look up things really closely to his face, like he would eye things like that and flap his hands. And he asked me all these questions, and answer was yes to everything, because that's what he did. And I started to panic, and I was with my sister because his dad was working, so he couldn't attend. And I was pregnant at the time with my second son. I was 6 months pregnant, and which made it harder and more worrying. So he sat me down, he wrote down all the things, these little notes in his little booklet. And he sat down with me and told me, I don't want to worry you. This is not a diagnosis. But from what I can see, your son looks like he has autism. And I've told this story a million times, and it still kills me every time I speak about it. I'm not gonna cry. And that was a complete shock. I didn't know what it was, what it meant, and I was so like, I can't even explain it. I asked the doctor, like, is there a cure for it? Because I had no clue. I was clueless of what autism. I've never heard of it. And he said, no, it's for life. He's going to have this for the rest of his life. And when I read about it, it broke my heart. It really did. I'm not going to cry because every time remembered this story about him, his diagnosis story, it just literally breaks my heart. Because I'm with him every day and I completely forget. I completely forget he has it. But then I'm always reminded that he has got it, you know. It's not going away. And he said that he was going to make a new appointment to get a proper diagnosis. So we waited another couple of months and then we got seen again. And this time I was really worried. I was really worried because I had to prepare myself to adapt to him for a child who has special needs, and I had no idea what to do. You know, I had to learn as I went. And same thing happened, and the doctor said to me, I'm just going to go outside and discuss with my colleague. There was another lady in there with us. And I remember them going out. My sister was there again. My husband had to work. Unfortunately, he had to go work. So I was really panicky. My heart was beating out of my chest. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life. And I remember them leaving the door as 2 and coming back as 3. I burst into tears. I burst into tears because I just knew. He said to me, I'm so sorry to inform you, but your son has autism. Because of what I read, I know it's not the end of the world, but it's so hard for any parent to hear because it is difficult. It's so difficult. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, was he going to get any worse? Was he going to get any better? Because he was almost 3 years old and he wasn't talking. He just wasn't saying a word. He was babbling. He was healthy. That's what was important to me. He was healthy. But I wanted him to do things that normal, like, kids his age was doing. And I had to accept that. That's never going to happen. That was never going to happen. So we started speech therapy as soon as possible. And I learned how to communicate. I tried to do Makaton, but I refused to do it because I don't want my son to speak. I don't want him to use sign language. But I did try, but because I was at the end of my pregnancy, I didn't do the second part of my course. So that was, you know, it was interesting, but it just didn't help at all. And sorry for crying, I'm a complete mess. Yeah, so we started speech therapy, and I remember the first speech therapy we've ever done together. She said to me, communicate through your eyes, because he doesn't speak, he will tell you through a look. So we started off with bubbles. I would blow the bubbles, and every time he wanted more, he would look at me and then look at the bubbles and then look at me back. That's when I knew he wanted more. And we started from there, and then he started progressing more. We started doing that, and he started, like, he was a picky eater. That's one thing as well. He is a really picky eater. He was anemic because he refused to drink. He refused to eat anything besides drinking milk, and I was really worried. I didn't want him to go hungry, so I gave him milk. And obviously I gave him other foods, but because I was giving him too much milk, he had a bit of iron deficiency. So we had to cut down a lot on the milk, and he started giving him more like food with iron in it, and yeah, started just giving him more food with iron in it, and then he started going nursery, um, and it all started again. He started getting really picky at eating different foods because he's so used to, like, he's very specific about what he likes and what he doesn't like. Um, and he started doing really well in nursery, really, really well. It helped him so much, and but he still wasn't fully talking. Like, he was trying, he was saying a few words, and then he stayed there for 2 years and then went off to school, and and he came out of nappies really late. Like, he's still 9 years old, and I will get there to that bit. Um, he came out of nappies really late. I think he was about 3, going on 4. It was really tough potty training him, really tough. Um, he went to school, was doing really well. He had his 1-to-1, which is like extra help to stay in class with him. And the best thing ever happened to me, he called me mummy for the first time. And it was just so lovely to hear him say mummy. It was just so nice. He, now, like, he, as the years went by, he started talking more and more and more and more. And come to today, he's 9, going on 10. He is talking so much, and he's found his speech through the love of gaming. He loves his gaming. Um, he is one of the sweetest boy you can ever meet. So down to earth. He's so quiet. He's so gentle. He gives you lots of hugs and kisses and tells you he loves you. And the things I have to do for him now, I still have to bathe him. Um, I still have to tell him to rebrush his teeth because he, like, I have to make sure his teeth are clean. Um, he still needs help with buttons sometimes, like fidgety things. He still needs help. His eating is a lot better. He can eat. He's more willing to try new foods now. His speech is still a bit delayed. Like, he has struggles with his homework because they give him too much. His homework is too hard. I always have to be on their back to make it easier for him and to remind them, he's autistic. He can't do the same things the kids his age in his group can do in his year. So I always keep doing that. And I just, I'm lucky. I really am, because he is the best kid ever. Like, when he has his tantrums, he has his tantrums like any typical child. But he is the sweetest kid ever. And this is one question people ask me. If I could go back, I know this is stupid and like people shouldn't be asking this, but if I could take autism away from him, would I do it? No, I wouldn't. In parts, I probably would, but most of my answer is no, because he would not be the same child. And I love him just the way he is. He is everything to me. He's everything I wanted. And I have faith that he is going to get better. He is getting better. And I'm hopeful that he will have a good life. He will have a good life. I will make sure he will have the best life ever. Because he is my everything. So are my other children. Don't get it twisted. So are my other children. But this video is about him. I have the best child ever. He is the best. And I don't think without autism, he wouldn't be the same. So yeah, that's my story about being a mum with autism. And I'm so sorry. I'm not really good with words. I just mumble on a lot. Um, for any parents who are going through the same thing, you can do it. You can do it because they need you, and they're your babies, and we have to do what's best for them. And you will see how much joy they can give you, and they can be loving. They say that autistic children are not really affectionate. My son is. He's very affectionate. He gives me hugs. He tells me he loves me to the moon and back. You know, they can. You just have to work really hard and be there for them because their minds are literally wonderful. Just wonderful. And if any parents out there who are worried or have any questions, you can DM me privately on Instagram if you want to ask me a question, or you can ask down below. It's totally up to you. But this is my story of having a son who is autistic and what it's like living with a son with autism. And yeah, talk about the nappy thing. He still wets himself and he still wears like nappies to bed. He still flaps his hands. That's one thing he's never really snapped out of. Oh, I don't think he ever will. Not didn't mean snap out of, but you know what I mean. Um, he does this a lot. Like when he's really excited, he hugs himself. This is how you know he's really excited. He jumps up and down, and he's more vocal. I don't know what else to say. This is just the way he is. Every child's different, and everyone is special. That's all I have. Like, I can't say anything else. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to know anything else, what I went through, like I said, I am not a professional. I'm just going. I don't know every type of autism. It's a whole spectrum. There's not 1, 2, and 3. Everyone's different, and I'm just telling you my story of my experience with my autistic son. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't mumble on too much. I hope I didn't offend anyone. Hopefully not, because I'm just not really good with words. I mumble on a lot, I get nervous, and I just start mumbling. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this is informative, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe.